Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be talking about essentials I think every first year medical student should have. And the reason I'm making this video is because I have some friends that have hit me up over the past few weeks asking me what they thought was important to get before they started medical school. And people who are already in like second or third year could also listen to this, but I'm pretty sure they already have all of this, if not everything on the list. But for people who have no idea of what they should get before getting into medical school or what they think is important, I've put 15 things I think is essential for medical school. And you could pick what you like and what you don't like, but this 15 things I would say, in my opinion, are must have. And number one on the list is getting an iPad and an iPencil. I wouldn't really say just an iPad for some people who might not want to get an iPad because of the price or personal preference, but if you can, I definitely recommend it. Already using a different tablet, you don't need to get a new one. It's completely fine for you to not get a new one. Just one tablet is fine, and a good pen for writing or taking notes in class. Second would be a laptop or PC. So for some people that I know, they did mention that getting a PC and a laptop was excessive, and if they had known, they would have gotten just one or the other, maybe just a laptop or just a PC. Personally, I have both and I enjoy using both. I like using big screens or reading stuff using big screens because I feel like sometimes some words are too tiny for me and I don't want to have to squint too much. So having a big screen where I could feel more comfortable with studying, because you're going to be studying for a very long time. You want to get something that will provide the most amount of comfort for you. So I went to Walmart and got the biggest monitor screen I could find there. And then for a laptop, I'm also going to recommend the MacBook, but if you don't have a MacBook, it's not that important. Like, you could get any laptop as long as it's good and it's going to last you all 4 years of medical school, because you're going to have to save a lot of information. So just get a good one. And next on the list is scrubs. Scrubs, you have to check in with students in your school if you've already been accepted, but for some schools they provide it to their students, while for other schools, like, students have to get it themselves. And for one of the schools that I know, they have a big discount where the scrubs are sold for really cheap. So there's different options for students. So I would advise you to check in with the second years in your school and see what they say before getting one. Having one really good one would be nice. But you need your scrubs for anatomy lab, and it gets messy in the lab sometimes. So maybe one good one and one cheap one. And scrubs should cost from let's say $15 to even $100, but you don't need to spend $100 in scrubs. I'll say max at this point, maybe just get one from Figs or just get something under $30. You'll be fine. It doesn't need to be all that. You just need it for anatomy lab and certain classes that might require you to wear scrubs at your school. And then the Anki app. Depends on if you enjoy using Anki. And for those who do not know what Anki is, it's an app for studying. It asks you questions. It's like spaced repetition studying. And many students like it. Some students do not like it. If you've used the Anki app before and you like it, great. But if you've never used it before and you're on the fence, if you use an Android, it's free to download. But if you use an Apple phone, you'd have to buy it. I'd say, personally, it depends on you and your reading preference. If you feel like that's something you're going to use, then you should use it. Many people I know use it and have had success with it. I use it sometimes, but it's not my go-to study material. It's my supplementary study material or something I need for fast studying, because it's like memorization, but spaced repetition plus memorization, and it helps. Another app I would mention is Notability. I use Notability, and guys, none of this is sponsored. This is just my preference or just things from my experience. None of this is sponsored. These are just things that I use and I think would be helpful for you guys as well. And for some of the people in my school, they use either Notability or GoodNotes. I haven't used GoodNotes before. I used Notability, and I bought it before the subscription started. So it was I think $10 when I bought it, but now I know there's a subscription where you have to pay yearly for something. I would still highly recommend it. They keep coming up with like good tools to help with studying. I like it, and especially if you're getting like an iPad and the pencil, studying and writing on there, you don't need to buy highlighters because you could just highlight using the app. You could like have notes in there. I just feel like it's very helpful. I like it. It's like really nice. Noise canceling headset. This is super important. Like this, if there's anything on this list that I would say make sure you get it, even though it might be expensive, it would be this. Because you are going to be studying almost every day. Not every day, but almost every day. You want to be able to like focus and understand. There are places you might go and you just can't focus because it's like too much noise. Sometimes even your library, it might even be like you're hanging out with friends, but like you want to go into the zone, and I feel like going into that zone sometimes requires a lot of focus, and having an active noise canceling headset helps a lot with like helping you to like just focus on the task you have at hand. Even if it's like super expensive, I'd still say get it. Do I have a preference? No, not really. I feel like I can't recommend one for you at this point just because I'm not even too sure. I tried to get one myself. There was this specific brand I got from Amazon, but I got it years ago and they no longer sell it anymore. But that's what I used to today, and I like it because it's like just those little earbuds. But if you put in your ear, you literally cannot hear anything around you. So I like it, but like it's not available. A study chair and table. So this is like super important. So many students would study at their school's library or other libraries, but almost everyone I know also bought a study table and chair. I would highly recommend you get something comfortable. If like you're like, oh, it's too expensive, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be other alternatives online, or if you search on Facebook Marketplace, you could even find it for free. Apps on like the App Store that shows you things that people have used and want to resell, or people who are giving it away for free. I would urge you to utilize these apps to get things that you feel are too expensive but you need. And one of those things would be a study table, study desk. Because like you're gonna be studying, like I said, almost every day. You need something very comfortable for you. You shouldn't get something just because it's cheap, or like this is like an investment. Okay, you're gonna be studying for a long time and for tons of years, right? So it would be best to at least make sure that you're buying something of good quality. And if you buy something that's cheap just because it's cheap and it's like horrible quality, it's gonna break in like a few months, and now you're gonna have to buy another one again. And by the time you buy another one, you're probably spending double or like almost the same price of the expensive one you didn't want to get in the first place. And third, like I mentioned, Facebook Marketplace has tons of options, especially if you live in a city. I know like for rural areas, it might be like fewer options, but what you could do is change your location on there and see what people are offering nearby, and you could go pick it up, you could buy it. Many people always give away the study desk for free, especially during the summer. And then for the chairs, some people might be wary about chairs because of like bed bugs and the rest, and totally understandable. You do not need to get like a study chair from like Facebook or like other sites that sell used products or like are giving it away. You could always buy one, but please, please, please make sure you buy something that's extremely comfortable. You would be so happy to study if you have a comfortable chair. If you don't have a comfortable chair, your neck and back would literally hurt so much. And I say this with experience. Every time I go to study, and I like there's a specific chair I always want to use to study at my school because of the way it's made. It's like so much foam, so much padding. I love sitting down on that chair. In fact, sitting down on that chair motivates me to study more. Like, but if you're sitting on a chair and it's uncomfortable for you, you wouldn't want to study, or like you're being in pains after a while, or you just feel uncomfortable, and you want to feel as comfortable as you can while studying. So I would recommend getting a really comfortable chair and table. And the next on the list is like, pillow and bed. I mean, a lot of people might not talk about this often, but you need a good pillow. Get a good pillow. Pillow, pillow, pillow. It might not sound important now, but you need good sleep, because you know what? If you do all that studying and you don't get adequate sleep, then you're just going to be restless throughout the entire day. It's not good for your health. It's not good mentally for you. You need sleep. Sleep is essential. So to maximize, having a good night's sleep, I would highly recommend getting a good pillow. You should know if you prefer hard pillows or soft pillows or medium pillows. Just find what you like best and go for the best quality you probably can. And now get two of these pillows just in case, sometimes some pillows become flat. I don't like when that happens, but if I have two, it means I could always just use the other one when that happens. For me, I didn't really worry too much about the bed, but I did make sure I got a good pillow because when I was using a pillow that was extremely soft, I had lots of neck pains, a lot of neck issues. It was just too much and very uncomfortable for me. So I got a better pillow and that helped a lot. I also had to go for treatments at one point, but the pillow and having it there was a game changer. And next on the list, I would say, is a watch. And people might not rank this as number 8, but for me, having a watch is very essential. I like to know what time it is. Sometimes you might be in class and maybe there's no clock nearby. You just check and see what's going on. Or sometimes you're studying and you want to time yourself. I would say using a watch is very important for timing yourself and pacing yourself. You want to know how fast you're studying. You want to know how much time you're spending on doing certain things. So if you're taking too long to study, right, or your study speed is not improving, you could increase try to work faster. But having a watch will make that so much easier for you to notice, because you can always just look at your fingers. Some people use their phones as well, and that's completely fine, but do understand that there's some days where you wouldn't be able to take your phones to certain places. I know sometimes when you're going for, I don't know, maybe there's some classes in my school that would say do not bring your phone inside, just because it could ring out and you don't really need an expensive watch. A regular wristwatch will be fine. If you want to splurge in it, that's okay too, but any watch is okay. You don't need something too fancy. And then chargers for your devices. I cannot stress this enough. Get a long charger and fast charging. If getting really long chargers, I like the 10 feet chargers, just because if I go to a library and the port is far away, I don't have to worry too much about it. But if I was using a 6 feet charger or a 3 feet charger, it makes it so much harder to do some things. And second, please get a fast charging charger. You don't want to stay there 10 minutes and there's just 1 bar increase on your device. You want to make sure it's charging as fast as it can. So maybe you could move to somewhere else, or change the position of how you kept your iPad or your laptop. This charger that a friend recommended to me basically has multiple ports, so you could just plug it in, and this makes it so much easier, because if you have I bought some of my devices years ago. My iPad was the old iPad charger, so I would have so much chargers in my bag, and my bag would be too heavy, and I didn't like this. But having this type of charger, you just need only 1 part, and you could plug everything in with that. So I like that. I prefer that instead. It makes my bag so much lighter, and I don't like carrying things that are too heavy. You want comfort. You want comfort in med school. So comfortable footwear. You need very comfortable footwear. On days where you have to go to the anatomy lab or any labs you have and you might be standing for hours, it'll be best to get a footwear that is extremely comfortable, because you're going to be standing. So people use compression socks. I prefer fuzzy socks. I love them. They make my feet feel happier. So I use that on days where I have to stay for a long time, stand for a long time, or walk for a long time. Suggestions. I personally think Adidas are very comfortable, but everyone has their preference. It doesn't have to be a big brand. I also bought this sneaker from Walmart, and it's one of the most comfortable sneakers I have. Some people use Hoka. If you like that brand, then you should get it. Just get a brand you feel like you like, or you feel comfortable wearing. Something that's not gonna hurt your leg. Even if it's super pretty and you feel after 30 minutes it hurts, don't get it. Or get another one that's more comfortable. You don't have to spend too much. $20, go to a Walmart, you will find something comfortable enough. Max 30. Another thing I'd recommend is a large school bag. So this is, some people like small school bags. Some people like large school bags. I like large school bags. And my preference are like totes with very long hands, or like a school bag that's comfortable enough where I don't have to always adjust the straps. So if you were on the fence, these are like some of the bags I would recommend you get. Something like this, but like, find whatever you like. But I said large school bags just because sometimes, you take your iPad, you take your laptop, you take, probably like your water bottle, notebooks, and maybe other things you think you might need to school with you. You need it to all fit in one place. You don't want to have to carry multiple bags at the same time because you might forget it. At least that's what happens to me sometimes. So I like to have everything in one bag so I don't need to like always, carry multiple bags. Next, I would say is a whiteboard, and this is mostly for studying. So it's a game changer, and it depends on you. If you feel like you could do it without a whiteboard, you don't have to. Not everyone I know uses a whiteboard, but for me, there's certain classes where I like to use a whiteboard to study. It just makes things better for me. I feel like having the whiteboard means when I write on the board, I get to come to the study space every day and look at it on the board. Or like the test time comes or assessment period comes, I've looked at that board so many times that I know where certain things are on the board. So that's helpful, at least for me. And Forest app or any app at all to minimize distraction. What I usually do is uninstall social media apps on my phone, just because I feel like at first when I started, it was very hard to be focused while having those apps on my phone. And sometimes even if you were focused, like, a ping or like a notification from one of the devices, and it's like a really close friends, and you just have to respond or you just see things. So removing the app or the apps helps with, helping me focus. And I think it's very surprising if you ever choose to delete your Instagram and other things. You would be so shocked by how much free time you could get back from uninstalling the app, because like for the first few days you'd want to open the app and you can't, but like also like remind you of how much or how often you get distracted by the social media apps. So if you don't want to like uninstall the app, you could get the Forest app. It's free. They let you like plant a tree, and during the period that the tree is being planted, you can't use your phone, and I think it's very helpful. And then another app, there's another one called Look Me Out or something, but there's a ton of them on Android and Apple devices for free. Hand sanitizers. I'm not a clean freak, but it's med school. Sometimes you might be in clinical spaces, and guess who comes to the clinic? People who are sick or people who are not feeling good. Now, you don't want to like carry that back home with you. You don't want to be sick in med school. You want to make sure you have great health. And if getting a hand sanitizer would help reduce the bacteria on your hand, then get one, and it doesn't hurt to be extra clean while doing this. And there are several spaces that, you might think are clean, but they're dirty. Like, think of the door handles you touch. Think of, like several things you touch every single day. Maybe it's the library. Maybe it's like, your classroom. Just get one. And then if there's anything else I need to add, I'll probably add it later. But these are like what I think are super helpful. So if you are enjoying this video, or if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and share to your friends as well who might be starting medical school and are curious on what they should get. All of these are essential. I'm just going to put that there. And if there's any other thing you think you might need, then get it. But like all of these, I would say you definitely should have them. But yeah, thank you for staying to the end of this video. Have a great day and goodbye.